Here we're going to focus on bone building, which we call ossification. Whenever you see os, that refers to bone. So this is the process of building bone. By the end of this session, you should be able to describe this process to somebody. So important things to remember: bone is made up of calcium, phosphorus and sodium and minerals, so particularly calcium and phosphorus. Although it is made of minerals which are inorganic, bone is a living tissue, so it contains blood vessels, nerves, collagen, other living cells. So we need to make sure we see it as a living substance. You're always building and clearing bone. This process goes on all the time. In the same way you might renovate your house, you have to clear away the old as well as build a new. So we have two types of cells: osteoblasts, which build bone, osteoclasts, which clear bone. So at times in your life where you're building bone mass, so for example when you're young or you've done certain things to improve that, we have lots more osteoblast activity than osteoclast. Generally in adulthood we have a similar amount of blast and clast activity, so your skeleton tends to remain the same density, and as you get older we often start to clear more than we build, so we often have more osteoclast activity than osteoblast, and your skeleton might become a little bit weaker, leading to conditions such as osteoporosis. If you want to keep your skeleton nice and strong, there are things you can do. So diet and nutrition, very important, so particularly including calcium and vitamin D in your diet. Vitamin D helps calcium absorption, so it's good to have the two together, or the two included in your diet. This will help them to lay down additional calcium tissue or ossify the bone. Having good hormones levels. Hormones are supported by good nutrition as well, particularly your anabolic hormones, estrogen, testosterone, human growth hormone. They all help to lay down bone tissue. Sunlight will stimulate the production of vitamin D in the skin, and that will help to absorb calcium as well and make your skeleton stronger. Physical activity is important, so particularly weight bearing or any exercise that stresses your bones. So walking, squats, weight training. What happens is the muscles pull on the outside of the bone, and that stimulates further growth inside. So things like swimming, although it's a great exercise, is not great for building bone mass. It has massive other purposes, but for bone mass it's not as good as things like walking or squats, where you take weight on your legs. You also remember your smoking and alcohol will strip bone mass, so limiting them, it definitely helps your skeleton to be strong, and your genetic makeup will also have an effect. So hopefully now you should be able to explain how bone is formed with your osteoblast and osteoclast activity. Have a go at doing that to a friend and just check your knowledge. You can also try out the Kahoots and then just remind yourself of this regularly.